Ladies and gentlemen, we're heading into a big week for Nvidia stock after the company reported earnings and after the stock ended up getting hit, which you guys all know at this point. We hit about $130 per share last week, and we ended up dumping under $120 after the earnings came out. We actually got down to $115 per share. So we're going to break down my thoughts on Nvidia heading into this week, what I'm looking to do, and of course we'll break down the charts and maybe some other stocks at the end of the video. So guys, hit the like button, make sure to subscribe, and you might as well get up to 20 stocks from Moomoo with at least a $100 deposit. Use that link down below or simply go to stocksurfs.com/Moomoo, and your uninvested cash for now will earn up to 8.1% APY. And guys, that deal's going to run out very soon once Jerome Powell cuts those rates. So again, use that link down below or go to stocksurfs.com/Moomoo. And with that being said, let's dive right into the video. So like I said, Nvidia stock looked pretty good on the charts heading into earnings. We hit over $130 per share, and then earnings came out and the stock went down all the way to 115. So we actually dropped at 1.12.5% from the highs last week, from $130 to $115. That was a 12.5% drop. And you guys can see one thing worth mentioning here is we actually consolidated at $120 per share after the earnings came out. So we dumped down to 115, right? Then we ended up pretty much holding that same spot on Thursday and on Friday. You guys can see that right here, right? We bottomed at about $115, $16 on Thursday, and we held that and bottomed there all day on Friday. Although we do, now that I'm looking at this, have a descending triangle. We do, which is not the most bullish pattern per se. You guys can see here, which if this plays out, maybe more downside could be coming. But heading into this week, let's see what this does here. Do we respect $115 for this week and then maybe break out of here, start taking out the highs from 120 or at 120, 122, or do we fall through 115 and start seeing the next leg down, which honestly, I don't think that's going to happen necessarily, right? I think we're a bit oversold in the short term. The stock, in my eyes, shouldn't have even sold off. I don't get how it sold off. They beat EPS, they beat revenue, guidance was strong. So if anything, the market is digesting these earnings, and in a couple of days, maybe even on Monday, tomorrow, we get the pop, right? After we digested the earnings a bit, the market got to realize, okay, maybe there's no reason for Nvidia to be down 10% off the highs. The numbers were good. They beat EPS, revenue, guidance was strong, and maybe we start breaking out. Maybe we start breaking out as the market realizes that the reaction initially, which was a dump off, was kind of overblown, right? So yeah, at this point, keep your eyes on this 5-day, 5-minute chart, the descending triangle in the short term. That's going to be huge for direction overall. And on the 10-day, 30-minute chart, you guys can see we're still under both the 50 and the 180 moving averages. We have a death cross on this time frame, which we'll see how that ends up playing out, right? I mean, we all know we were trading sideways on the stock between, 130 to about 120-ish as support, and we broke that spot last week. That was a huge technical break to the downside. So ideally for this week, if you're a bull, you want to see this obviously break back over $120 per share, but ideally over $124 per share, which has held as support. It did for a little bit of time, but then obviously we broke under it again as the company reported earnings, and we got that unnecessary drop. At least in my opinion, it was unnecessary, right? So alerts at 124. Let's see if we can retake that and maybe start filling the gap again towards $130, and we'll see where it goes from that point. And I'm interested to see, guys, if Nvidia starts slipping, to play devil's advocate, maybe we don't break over 124, maybe it starts slipping back down towards 100, 105, 110. Is the CEO or maybe other top insiders, are they going to start buying Nvidia stock? Because we've seen a lot of sales come from the CEO, and these are pre-planned sales. The rule is called, I believe, 10B 5-1, something like that. I'm probably screwing that up. But there's a rule where insiders are able to sell at predetermined prices, at predetermined dates, predetermined share lots or share amounts. And that's what the CEO has been doing. He has been selling a lot recently for the last couple of months. Pretty much every week he's been selling, I think, 120,000 share lots, something like that. When are they going to start buying, right? When are they going to start buying again? Is it going to be when Nvidia gets, if Nvidia gets to 100, maybe back under 100, 110? I don't know. Time will tell. I'm actually very curious when that will be. Eventually, they will start buying again, and this selling cycle, if you will stop, at least from the CEO. Eventually, it's going to have to stop, or else he's going to eventually get rid of all his shares at this rate. Even though he's not selling a ton of shares, it probably would take him a long time to sell all his shares at 120,000 lots or 120,000 share lots. Either way, guys, I'm curious to see what happens here moving forward. On the 20-day chart, we have a death cross as well, signaling maybe more downside. But again, it all comes down to $124 per share, right? Do we retake that? Do we fill the gap to 130? And on the 4-hour chart, let me pull this up here, guys. We can see we're consolidating right above the 180 SMA, which is at about $118, $17 per share. That's a pretty good sign. Let's see if we get the pop off that level, maybe back again towards that 120 plus spot. So Nvidia is kind of a wait and see right now, at least for me. I'm not looking to buy more now per se. I'm kind of just waiting and seeing, holding on, and just riding the storm. The worst thing you can do right now, in my opinion, is panic sell, and that goes with anything, not just Nvidia stock, but the stock market in general, guys. You do not want to panic sell ever, right? If you have a legitimate reason to sell and it's based on rational thoughts and points, all right, fine. At that point, sell out. That's your decision. But if you're just freaking out because we sold off a day or 2 days or a couple of days for that matter, and you sell out, that's not the smartest thing to do. It's not the smartest thing to do, especially with a very strong company like Nvidia, especially with something like the S&P 500, for example, because over time, what has the S&P done, guys? It's always gone up. It sees sell-off sometimes here and there, but it's always gone up. So don't make the mistake of screwing yourself up and selling out, panic selling, especially in the S&P 500. And in my humble opinion, Nvidia, it's going to go up over time. Don't make that dumb decision on this stock as well. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this video, guys. A quick little breakdown on the charts as we're heading into this week. We don't have any more time for another stock, but don't worry, we'll do another video. Make sure you guys subscribe, hit that like button, and of course, don't forget to get up to 20 stocks from Moomoo with at least a $100 deposit. Use that link down below, or go to stocksurfs.com/Moomoo, and your uninvested cash until the Fed cuts rates will earn up to 8.1% APY, which, guys, come on, that's a no-brainer. So again, use that link or go to stocksurfs.com/Moomoo, and I'll catch you in the next video.